Today's the 20th. Thursday, mokuyobi. Thursday. Welcome to my beautiful home office. Under the bridge, somewhere. See, the year is coming to an end. It is time for me to buy a new calendar because this calendar doesn't even have December of 2026, does it? It has December, but it doesn't have January. December. I love having a big calendar. I've been keeping calendars since I was a wee little kid. So, an update on my car fundraiser. I've been to 2 dealerships. One that was a new one that claimed that they could put you in a new ride for $7 down. Anybody with any kind of credit, blah, blah, blah. Never listen to them. They're just trying to pull you into their dealership. And because I'm desperate for a ride, I pretty much fell for it. I was like, no way. He's like, do you know who we are? We're this type of Jerry V's for the people, blah, blah, blah. We can put you in. And they're just trained to like bring as many people through the door as possible, even if they're unqualified, because it's better than having people come through the door than having no people come through the door, because they can't be dependent on like walk-in traffic, right? Some places have walk-in traffic, but most dealerships are like by appointment only. So that was my first credit pull, because I thought, well, let me just see where I stand with this. I have like below a 650. I told them I have below a 625. I have below a 625, but every time they do a hard pull on your credit score goes down significantly. So it went down from that pool, and then they're like, nope, sorry, we can't help you. And I took the bus all the way to the other side of the island, to Kaneohe, and then the car that I wanted wasn't even there. So the guy who told me that he could, whatever, he's like the office guy, he had to go pick me up, which was great. So he went to go pick me up and then bring me to the Honolulu office, and then that guy was like, nope, sorry, we can't help you. And then at least he gave me a ride to the train station, because we have a new train now, a new rail that just opened, an additional 4 stops. So now our rail goes to the airport, which is really nice. And I'm really ready to tour a car, but I can't get a car because I have a repossession. My last car was repossessed. Just learning about financial literacy by doing it the hard way. Hello, people. Hello, 4 people. Thank you for watching. So, he put me on the rail, and I went home with my dog, my service dog, who I take everywhere with me. And on top of that, I'm having excessive bleeding because I have uterine fibroids. So uterine fibroids are caused by bad diet. People who are diabetic, overweight, have uterine fibroids. And my doctor told me I was overweight, and I've actually lost 10 pounds in the last month. I've lost 10 pounds. Let's see. You actually can't even tell that I was bordering obese. Someone stole my, here's my bedroom. Let's get a tour. This is my house, dude. This is where I live, somewhere in Oahu. So, 4 dogs and I sleep luxuriously in a queen bed. And today we have to make rice, so I'm gonna make some rice because I've been eating healthy every day. In the last month, I've been improving my diet. So instead of, I used to eat a really high carb diet, like bagels and cream cheese and Eggos and stuff, because homeless people, poor people don't have refrigeration, so it's really hard to get good quality food like green vegetables. I had pretty much given up on like keeping vegetables in a cooler because a cooler pools water at the bottom and everything gets soggy, so it's really hard to keep fruits and vegetables. Let me show you my fridge setup. So here's my fridge setup. So this is a complete upgrade. It's a complete upgrade. So just like old school, you have to get a whole 20 pounds of ice and then keep all your food, but it has like a shelf structure. I eat miso and green vegetables and tofu every day. And at night, I'll cook some protein. I'm a pescatarian, so, oops. So here we have some poke. It's lunchtime. So I need to make some rice so I can eat. I'll make like a stir fry with tofu or something like that, right? But this is a complete upgrade to have shelves in my refrigerator. I bought this bar fridge, but I still don't have like the generator power. I don't have an external generator. This used to be, the cooler was the only way that I was keeping food for the longest time. So when you have just a cooler and you're putting ice on top of it, then water, like lots of water. Russia. Lots of water pools at the bottom, so it had been really impossible to keep a lot of things. Like I would get sick a lot because in the water then bacteria grows, and then it's easy for you to get staph infection because like I can only get ice. Ice costs like $5-6 US, and that's a pain in the ass to get ice every 2 days, right? 20 pounds of ice. It's expensive. And the cooler problem. So I got that bar fridge, and that was like a serious upgrade because you've got to have like shelves over the water, and the water just drains out the bottom. So I was in the midst of making rice because I can do this live and make rice. So let's make some rice here. See if I can. Someone stole my selfie stick, so I can't really. So I have like a little kitchen here. The kitchen has one burner right there. And so the one burner is how I make everything. I could have like more than one burner, but then you have to buy these butanes here. And then if I have more than one burner, then I pretty much have to get more butane. So, it's already pretty expensive. Homeless people do have utilities. They are in the form of batteries. That's how you make your living space bright, right? So you have batteries to power your flashlights. On my flashlights, so when I come in at night, I have little lights that I turn on, and then even as you saw inside the refrigerator, there's a light. I have 4 dogs. This is one of them. So let's make some rice. So I switched diets because my doctor said, you're actually on the border of obese. So let's check this out. Like, I've lost 10 pounds. 10 pounds since my doctor said that. But it's only through eating this kind of stuff. Like I cut off all of the bagels and cream cheese and all the high carb, high sugar, high processed foods. And I went back to a Japanese diet. So Japanese people are known for living really long and just having basic, this is my my sink area. my morning routine. Let's see. So I don't have a tripod. You're going to have to bear with me here. Need 2 hands to make the rice. That's pretty good. So this is whole grain rice, which is really good for you. Brown rice, genmai. So I'm doing everything that my ancestors have been doing. Eating rice every day. Japanese people eat rice in the morning, they eat rice at night. And I'm really poor, and rice is really filling, actually, surprisingly. So, and Japanese people used to be very poor. So, like as a whole, they had gone through some famines and things. But I'm in Hawaii now, and the Japanese people who immigrated here, they worked on the plantations. They worked on the sugar plantations, and they would be able to live off of just rice balls and spam. Spam is really bad for you. Another diabetes food, diabetes waiting to happen type of food that's super duper popular. So we have this. Wakame is like, you could buy this bag for like $6 and it lasts for a decade. I've had this bag for like a year and a half already, and it's only half gone. So now we're just gonna take my rice. It's been raining lately, so this is the water flow. Sometimes this water gets really, really up to that, covering that whole blue graffiti right there. It could flow. Well, no, it doesn't cover that whole blue. It covers half of that blue graffiti right there. So you know how to make rice without a rice cooker. You boil it, and then once it boils, then you take it down to simmer. So this is going to be my lunch meal. So I have a kitchen. I wok with 2 pans. So basically, I have a whole underground apartment down here. I live under a bridge by myself, and I prefer to live by myself because homeless people are usually wild, troublesome, full of behaviors. I lived in a homeless encampment on the beach last year, and it was cool. I mean, like, I get along with people, but it's still like kind of wild. As a woman, as a houseless woman, you're basically seen as an object to be negotiated, and if you're not, then they leave you alone. But most people still want to bang you, and you know, I kind of wanted to get out of that environment. So I prefer to just be by myself. And most, not all homeless people, there's a lot of drugs in that community. And the drug of choice in Hawaii is crystal meth. And if you don't do drugs, then it could, get annoying. But I'm very accepting of people, right? So I don't mind. And there are some people who aren't on drugs, but they live there. There are people who have been houseless and they're Hawaiian and they're just poor. They've lived in encampments for generations. But I was sick of they have sweeps of the place. So that means you have to pack up all your stuff every 24 hours, everything that you own. So all of this stuff, I could never have a bed, a comfortable bed. I could never have a kitchen. I had a little kitchen, all of my stuff. So I'm gonna wait for the rice to cook. So basically I went to the new dealership, and then they did a hard credit pull. Then my credit went down. And then I started this fundraiser on GoFundMe. And I think the link is in my bio. I started a GoFundMe, and most of the people who donated were my friends. I haven't had any strangers donate. So if you're watching this, there's a GoFundMe going on. I put the GoFundMe link on my vehicle. My vehicle only goes 20 miles per hour. And I put the GoFundMe link as my vehicle drives slowly around town, so people know why my car goes so slow. Come here, Boops. Come here, Boops. This is one of my pups. I have 4 dogs. I could peacefully live with 4 dogs here. See, we have a couch and a desk for me to do my office work. And there is a beanbag for them to play on. And I have a beautiful, comfortable, queen bed. And I'm surrounded by love every day. And every morning I wake up with kisses like this. So I'm not lonely. I am poor, but I'm not lonely. But I do need a vehicle, because I lost my income when my transmission died. I was a Lyft driver, and I was doing deliveries all around the island. But without a vehicle, I can't do anything. But at least I have like a golf cart. I call it a golf cart because it only goes 20 miles per hour. And that is the vehicle that I take to go to the store, and I have to get ice every other day to put inside my refrigerator over there. So I have kind of a golf cart that gets me, and the gym is where I take a shower. I have access to a hot shower because I just paid for a gym membership, and that's $29.99 a month, and that is a godsend. So the different levels of homelessness is, if you have access to hot water, then you're a step above. If you have access to a car, then you're a step above. Because if you have access to a car, then you can charge your phone and make videos like I'm doing now. You can kind of be on the internet, and so I'm having health problems as well, excessive bleeding in my uterus. But that, I think it's because, one, I wasn't getting enough vitamins through my diet. I wasn't eating green vegetables for like a year. Like a little bit, really. Not very much, though. And that really makes a difference. That causes you to have more health problems that I even thought was possible. I took for granted that if you don't eat fruits and vegetables for a year, that you actually will have health problems like diabetes. And you eat what you can when you're poor, and I just think that a lot of the food here is not so healthy, but people don't really talk about that. There's high diabetes in Hawaii, lots of obesity and diabetes. I see people with really, really swollen ankles and swollen feet. That's a sign of diabetes. And because I have been living outdoors for the last year and living out of a cooler, I kind of avoided getting green vegetables because it was really hard to keep them. But now I'm switching back to my old. I was like, I can't really have a nutritious and healthy life, because I don't have anywhere to keep my food. Like, if I tried to buy any vegetables, they would rot in a couple days or be waterlogged in a couple days. Don't do that. You're going to ruin it. Don't do that. She starts chewing on the stuff. Everything that I have here I picked up and I hauled home from the streets. So again, guys, I have a fundraiser to get a vehicle of any kind. So now my new plan is you can't qualify for a financed car. Because I started to think about it. I was like, if I were me, if I were a bank, I don't think, let me see, try it. Tell me a small act of kindness you did or saw. I'm gonna ask a question. Have you ever tried to buy a car on bad credit, with bad credit? And I had fair credit, but now that they've been doing all these hard pulls, I want them to stop, you know? Like, it says something went wrong, so I can't do it. Okay, well, that was dumb. I was trying to use the question function, but I can't. So, as you know, every time they do a credit inquiry and you get rejected, then it makes your credit go down. And then the next person who sees that, they're most likely going to reject you. So the used car lot that has cheaper cars, they were like, nope. They just straight out said no, not even sorry. They were like, no. You know what I also don't like is I have this like extra fat around my chin that I've been trying to get rid of. But it's gone down because I've lost weight, which is great. I have these irritating lines right here that I was born with that makes me look a lot fatter. It looks like they're rolls. So if I gain a little bit of weight, then it looks like I have a really fat neck. Anyways, so the second dealership that has used cars that start at like $11,000, they wouldn't finance me a car either. So now I have 2 credit inquiries on my credit report, and I kind of just want to stop it because the more hard inquiries that you get, the worse your credit gets. So you don't want to do that, and it doesn't help. Like if you already know you're getting rejected, then you should just come up with another plan. So now my new plan is to raise maybe $1,000 and try to get a car outright. But since I don't really have an income, I'm only able to like make like 20 or 30, sometimes only 12. I can only make between 12 and $20 a day because I'm only able to go 20 miles per hour, and in my neighborhood vicinity, I try not to even go up steep hills because that'll cause the, oh look, the rice is already boiling. That will cause the car to fail. And I'm using my golf cart of a car for as long as I can. We're just gonna open it once. Boiling rice. Okay. You lower it to simmer. So I've been healthy, much healthier for the last month and a half. So that is a way to make your fibroids shrink. And my fibroids are only 2 centimeters. So 2 centimeters is very small. Some people can grow fibroids the size of a grapefruit or a watermelon, and then you have to get a surgery to get them removed. Maybe. There's complications from that surgery as well. So you want to be careful of having fibroids. Fibroids are actually very common for women. 80% of women get them. So see, let's look at, it's starting to get sunny. You can see sunny outside. And it's mostly hot in Hawaii. So this, having concrete above me is a big shade structure. It's really cool. It holds coolness inside. And it's really awesome, actually. So I'm doing a fundraiser for a car outright. Like an $800 car. Now I'm gonna go with a new plan We're not going to do very much with the new car, but at least it'll be a car that goes faster than 20 miles per hour, right? So that's the new plan. If you want to support my ventures, I am an entrepreneur and a businesswoman, and I am committed to upward mobility. I'm learning real estate. I'm learning financial literacy and everything, how to just do this correctly. So if you have a little hint of support, a spark for the holidays. It's the holidays. Help me get a car. Help me get a vehicle that runs faster than 20 miles per hour, won't you? All right. Thank you so much.